Yes, in the hills of Nevada, a monolith has returned. Do you guys remember when the monolith first appeared in 2020?
No.
So you don't remember this at all. It's mid-COVID. Everybody's in lockdown, and a monolith popped up in Utah. But first, here's the story from the Associated Press yesterday. Gleaming monoliths. I like how they wrote it. It feels like a Trump. Like I want Trump to read this. It's the biggest,
the best shiny
monolith. The shiniest
no monolith has ever been like
ever.
this monolith.
Gleaming monolith pops up in Nevada desert, the latest in a series of quickly vanishing structures. So the weird part about this monolith stuff, and sometimes things get too heavy. I realize this. I need some brevity in my life. It feels like things are always heavy. This is something where it's like, hey, I can read on this for like an hour and not get suicidally depressed. Where it's like, no offense to you guys at VT.com, I start reading these articles, I'm like, we are doomed as a society. But then I came across the monolith
That's
one.
me when I look at our headlines for the week. I'm like, oh, God. This looks pretty dark.
It's doom and gloom sometimes. The future is bright unless Shane and Connor are ready to
Hey, that's funny. The future's bright unless Shane and Connor are right.
We're just keeping it real, all right?
Yes. So I was like, what could I bring to the podcast that will maybe lighten the mood? And it's aliens and the monolith. So check it out. This is the monolith that appeared in the hills of Nevada. According to the police, this is odd. So the new monolith appeared. It was 6,937 feet high above ground level.
Jeez.
So it's pretty high up. They say that it's one of the highest points in the Desert National Wildlife Refuge where it was found. They don't know how long the monolith has been there. It could be years. Now, this is the monolith that was discovered in 2020. That's in Utah. The weird part about this one, they say that monolith was there for 4 years before being discovered.
Shit.
Right? So all of the arguments about the weird monoliths are that it's some kind of art stunt or some type of PR stunt but do you know any artists that make art and then shelve it for 4 years and don't tell anybody about it?
In the hills of Nevada?
No, that one was in the hills of Utah.
Okay.
Well, Rob, let me ask you.
hills.
Can I ask you a question, though, Rob? Have they open these things up to find out what's in it? Are they not touching it because they're scared or what?
Well, we could get to that. Kelly, could you go to the very last slide if you don't mind? There is a video of them opening one of the monoliths. Not this one, but if you could go to the next one and pull that up.
Is this one?
Yes, they actually opened up the one in Utah, and here is what came out when they opened
No music.
No music. No music.
Greatest president of all time.
Wonderful.
Oh, wait, you know what?
Wouldn't that be great?
You are an asshole because I was really focused, what's gonna come out of that? And you got DJ T.
So here's the crazy part. The one that was discovered in Utah after being in the desert for 4 years, undiscovered, it sits there for a few weeks. The news reports on it. At the time, I remember watching this because it was similar to kind of where we're at now when you would read the news. Remember how crazy it got with COVID where they had like a real-time death clock? And they kept the weirdest part about COVID to me was they kept comparing it to 9/11. Today, it's 3 9/11s of people dead. And I'm like, that's the metric.
Yeah.
So at that point, it got real heavy. They started to find, I started seeing news reports of the monolith, started reporting on it. People were watching it. They would do aerial shots in the desert via helicopter of the monolith. What is this alien structure? Where did it come from? And then 4 Utah desert people decide to steal it. They just take the monolith because it's on park land, but it's not technically supposed to be there. Nobody knows who it belongs to. So a group of 4 Utah hillbillies load it up in a truck and take it, and they keep it for a month. And the federal government does nothing. Isn't that weird? Don't you think the federal government would have some type of problem with this?
I love sharing country with people like that, by the way, unironically. It's just amazing that there's people in the hills of Utah, Nevada, just
driving around. Yo, Chrissy asked, how much does it weigh?
I don't know. Not too much that 4 hillbillies in the hills of Nevada can't a Dodge
Tacoma.
Yeah, exactly.
But Rob,
Let's get it.
If you guys had to guess, because I want to, if you had to guess, do you think it's just a prankster artist trying to make people because if we don't know what's in it, or could it be that aliens put this thing there just to be we're gonna mess with these people?
So there's an interesting thing to that. 200 different monoliths appeared after the original one appeared in Utah. Most of them were art installations. They were people trying to promote a business. People would put a monolith. There was a guy that dressed a monolith up in front as a gingerbread and put it in front of his store at Christmas time. So there were they flooded the news with all these other monoliths that were appearing, but they were all PR stunts. But why would you create something like I can't for the life of me understand anybody that would do a PR stunt and the payoff is 4 years, and then 4 years later doesn't take claim for that.
Yeah.
So you put that in the desert back in 2016. It's discovered in 2020. It's a PR stunt. Here we are 4 years later, and nobody has taken ownership of it.
Yeah.
The only people that have ownership of the original monolith that appeared in Utah, the National Parks and Forestry, ended up having the original monolith that was stolen by the Utah Hillbillies donated back to them by the Utah Hillbillies. The Hillbillies like, yeah, we took a look at it, and here, you can take it back now.
That's so funny.
So, but if it is a PR stunt, nobody's claimed credit for it. If it is art, like Banksy, right? Banksy,
Yeah.
oh, he paints and stuff. Okay. This is more interesting to me.
CIA.
oh, it's a rat coming in a door. Who gives a shit?
Banksy's literally the CIA, in my opinion. Like, that's
Okay.
not even a real guy.
Well, that's what makes me wonder, what is this? Because it can't be art. It can't be a PR stunt, because you would think that if it was, then someone would take credit for it. But here we are 8 years later after it was originally planted. No one's taking credit for that one, and now we have a second one that appears.
Chrissy,
what do you guys think?
Yeah, what do you think, Chrissy?
It's hard. I feel like if there was something crazy inside of it or near it, the hillbillies sound like they're real homies. Like they would have said something. I think I trust the hillbillies more than I trust the feds. I don't think it could be. I'm not like an alien believer. I don't know. And if they are, they're in the ocean, because there's just
Of course.
yeah,
I mean, if
they're down there.
Yeah.
They're down there. So I don't. I think it's probably a publicity stunt, or the ashes of the Zodiac killer are in there. It's only one of them.
Oh, shit.
Which, by the way, I know that one of my favorite serial killers. I know that you're not supposed to have
Wait,
those.
what?
No, you're not.
Hey,
but
like, hey, Charles Manson, gotta love him, because he didn't actually do it. He told people to do it.
You
it's
got a
one of
little
the-
woman in you, because we love that shit.
Yeah, I was
It
gonna
does,
say.
yes. My wife, she falls asleep listening to it. I go, that's terrifying.
Yeah, I
I
have
put
one
The
of those,
Office
too.
on to go to bed because it'll make me laugh. Maybe I'll have good dreams. And she's like, nope, murder. I want someone being
Yeah.
stabbed to
Death.
death in their sleep as I go into my slumber.
But yeah, she shows you like serial killers that have like women that have killed their husbands with like poisoning their food, and she's like, honey, dinner. You're like, get that shit out of my face, bitch.
The craziest. And you ladies like love it. When I do a joke about it and I ask who loves murder, and it's always ladies, and it's never the fellas. We never cop to that shit. We're like, no, we would never do that.
My fiance's like that, and I'll ask her in the morning, "How'd you sleep, babe?" And I don't know why. I in and out of sleep, really restless. I'm not. It's like, yeah, you keep going to sleep to that. I can't.
Fucking murder. Yeah, what's
Yeah.
on your mind?
But, okay, so you think it's the ashes of the Zodiac killer. Shane, what do you think?
I don't know if you saw Tucker Carlson interviewing Thomas Massey recently, but
great interview.
he asked him like, so what's in Area 51 anyway? And Massey like just got real quiet. He's like, I don't know. It's above my pay grade.
So weird. He'll talk about
And I was like, whoa.
AIPAC
It was
having
weird.
a representative, because during that interview, Thomas Massey says that AIPAC has a representative that meets with every member of Congress, and he's the only one that doesn't have it. So he can speak out about that.
He'll go that controversial,
With
but
aliens.
then he gets serious. He goes, I've never even asked. It's like, you've never asked.
Wouldn't it be
Why
the first
not?
thing that you guys, if you were in any type of political office, my questions are, all right, who killed JFK? What really happened on 9/11? And are we alone in the universe? And these guys get in office, they're like, nah, I'm more worried about tax reform and the
Tax
debt.
is
Like,
bullshit,
what,
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
That's what you're concerned. I would like to know about the secrets of this country.
Yeah, I would not rule anything out, because, I don't know, if you look into Area 51, it is very weird how little we know about it. If it's so high security and so many people probably go in and out of it driving trucks, at least one person had to have slipped at some point, but no one has slipped. No one has any idea what's in it.
They're
like,
very good at
Congress doesn't know what's in it.
Yeah.
If the president's Congress, like all these people who have security clearances don't know what's in there, like we have no, like it can't be anything that we're familiar with.
Well, especially if it's run by the CIA, and because Kelly has an episode after this, a show for Saints and Sinners about Operation Saints and Sinners. Suits and Sinners. Did I say Saints? Oh, what a dumbass. Suits and Sinners. At the end of this show, she's gonna be talking about Operation Mockingbird, which was the CIA with media and narratives and stuff like that. I just finished reading a book called Chaos by I forgot his name, but bro, the CIA, this MK Ultra, literally, this is a fact, would take people, give them LSD, brainwash them, and these fuckers would kill and.
Oh, they did it to Ted Kaczynski. Ted Kaczynski was a brilliant mind. Went to Harvard at 14 or 15,
That's
and
the
then they put him in a program where they
Unabomber.
dosed him with LSD, broke his mind, and then he moves to the woods and starts writing about the downfall of humanity being technology, and then he starts mailing out mail bombs to people to try and stop the advancement of
If you
technology.
took the bombs away from him, though, wasn't wrong.
No,
he wasn't.
I
Smart guy.
told my son, I go, minus the murder.
Yeah.
I'm really like on board, like
Forget that
living in the
part.
woods by yourself, living off the land in some weird cabin where you don't talk to people, and you're like, I just want to be away from it all. There's times where I get like that with my phone. I'm like, I just don't want to be near it. I just want to be disconnected. And Ted Kaczynski, he had that one right.
Yeah.
Forget about the mail bombs.
But
Yeah.
and the point was going to you is like the CIA. Who runs the Area 51? Is it CIA, government, black op?
It's-
like they're. By the way,
They
they're
probably
a
do it
mixture.
under the Air Force, I would think.
Well,
right?
I think,
'Cause
I
it's
think
an
it is technically Air
base.
Force, but you can be assured that most people in the Air Force also don't know what's
Yeah,
in there.
because I was
so-
in the Air Force, and
Yeah.
I was in Colorado Air Force Base, and Peterson Air Force Base, where it's like a mountain, and you drive into the mountain. Like
Wait,
the base
Wait,
is,
so it's
Crazy.
the base is built
there's base,
inside.
there's
Like a
base
bat
inside.
cave.
There's it's like
Yeah.
a bat cave.
You ever see those? Okay, let me ask you because you ever see those stories where they have underground truck routes? Have you ever seen those where there's stories of underground
like
cities?
Denver Airport. Or
I've read a lot about Denver Airport, and it's
Okay.
always weird. But no, I've always seen like photos of supposedly these underground routes where truck drivers can go, and I've always like, oh, that's crazy. We would know about that if that exists. But then there's literally Air Force bases hidden inside of mountains that we don't know
Rob, it'd be
about.
funny if
Right.
the camera cut to me and I was like this. I don't know what you're talking about. Because I mean, I had secret clearance. I didn't have. Wait, did I have? I had secret clearance. But yeah, dude, there's different levels, but there's obviously something going on. We don't know where the technology is coming from. I just wish they would open one of these damn things just right in front of us. What the hell's in there? If it's just metal and somebody soldered it, because I mean, bro, just looking at that looks like a perfect.
Well, the reflection, Kelly, could you pull it back up real quick?
The
If
reflection's
you could see the
amazing.
reflection, the two side-by-side photos of it, the reflection of it going out towards the mount, like this one right there.
That looks fantastic.
That really, like, is that made of glass? What is that? That's not something that four hillbillies in Utah can make.
No, and Rob, I would be scared. Real talk. I'd be scared to walk up to that damn thing.
Me too. I would
Are you
run, and I
fucking
don't
cra-
run, but I would. I'd
Rob,
roll down the hill.
Rob's like, I would stop, drop, and roll down that hill
And-
and shock.
And did they just pick that thing up, or is that thing dug into the ground deep? Like, what do we know about?
nobody-
I don't know. So the last
How
I
did
saw,
they get that thing out of there?
it was still there. Nobody has touched it, but apparently desert people can just come and take things.
You need to have these hillbillies on the
I
show.
want to find them. Hey,
I
Earl.
have their names. We could. Okay.
Yeah,
we could
Earl.
do that.
Tony on it.
Yeah.
But it's just such a weird thing to just be placed in the middle of nowhere. I have a lot of questions. I'm gonna have to do research. Is there footsteps around it? When they show up, what the hell's going on? Is there any radioactive freaking force happening around it? I want to, dude. I don't know.
Don't you always think they're trying to distract us, though? Like, I think it's fascinating if you're right about the Area 51 being owned and operated by as an Air Force base.
Yeah.
The Air Force and pilots have been some of the only people to report what's going on in terms of aliens and UFOs. So wouldn't it be just like such an easy cop out to be like, hey, look at this over here instead of what's actually
for
happening?
Sure. And I think this is my opinion. I think besides politics and explosions and terrorist stuff that they're letting, I think the one way to have everybody come together, everybody, race, nobody, political affiliation, nobody gives a shit, race, gender, all that shit. Everybody comes together. It has to be a threat that's not of this world. It has to be something where late breaking news, hey guys, an alien ship is here. That, let's say they've been working on it to build one because they have the technology. It's here. There it is. It's communicating with us. Guess what it's saying? You can't go. Bro, I got goosebumps. You can't go here. You can't do this. Stay in your house or they're going to do this. And guess what COVID was? A test run to see how long could they F with us to stay in your house. Fear, disease. These aliens are here. They're going to attack. Stay in your damn house. Bro, don't play. And when I know some people in the chat are like, what the hell are you talking about? Read the book Chaos. Look at what the CIA did just to human beings, and you won't think twice about what these sons of bitches will do to keep us controlled. I'm telling you.
Well,
right
look what I mean. Historically, we've needed a common enemy to band together.
Yes.
And we found that in 44 with the Japanese and the Nazis. We saw that in 2001 with Afghanistan and the Taliban.
9/11.
So is that the next threat? Because Russia, I don't think it's working. Like, yeah, they're scaring us, but like the narrative of Russia is the big evil bad guy that we must defeat, I don't feel like most Americans feel that way.
They don't.
I think most Americans look at what's going on specifically in Ukraine and Russia and having more questions as to why our money's going there
Yes.
than why Putin is doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
So the foreign foreign enemy doesn't work on this planet right now anymore.
not.
Kim Jong-un, we laugh at him. We see his little rocket ship. Trump calls him, what is he
Rocket
called?
Man.
Rocket Man.
And then we see them do where they bring out their weapons of mass destruction, and some of them are allegedly cardboard in their parades. So, like, that didn't work. So it's like, okay, well, who can we really get them to fear?
Yes.
And it's got to be another worldly being at this point, because this is not working.
Robbie, great fucking point. Because if right now CNN, MSNBC, Fox, everybody goes, guys, late breaking news, alien. What the hell do you think people are gonna do?
They rush the stores, and they rush their stores. They run first thing groceries,
Toilet
gas.
paper.
Yeah, we're gonna be fighting it first
Toilet-
for resources, but then we're gonna band together to fight back.
Exactly, like Independence Day. And I'm telling you right now, do not be surprised, because I've been saying this for a while. If the terrorist threat, that's not working, the Russia thing, nobody gives a fuck. Especially like when interviews with Tucker going over there, it's like, oh, Putin's just, he knows about history. And yeah, he's crazy, but that fear isn't working. And I think the last resort is going to be the shift. Because if that happens, bro, you're going to listen, because you have to, because it's called martial law. You have to. We have a threat.
That's their dream.
Yeah, exactly. They said that they're going to do X, Y, and Z unless we shut everything down. Nobody in the streets, no cars, stay home. And we'll do it, because we scare easy. We're going to, by the way, all the toilet paper, gone.
Not me. I got it already. Can I tell you? This is funny. This is why I love working at Valuetainment. Whoever the listener is that sent food buckets, 3-month supplies.
You
of
took
food.
those, you asshole?
I waited. I waited like 9 months. I kept asking.
I wanted one,
I
you
asked the
prick.
front desk girl. I kept going, hey, if nobody claims this, what happens? And she goes, well, I guess we throw them out. And I go, okay, before you throw them out, could you let me know? So she came to me and 2 other sales guys, and we each got a food bucket. So whoever's sending the food buckets for the apocalypse,
Send me more.
Thank you. And yes,
What are
please send
they?
more.
Are they like meal, like MREs?
Yes,
Everything.
military rations. I have that. I have what you guys. Oh,
Wow.
I'm not
Rob,
telling you.
I'm
where
going to
I'm
your
Rob's
house,
house
you
for the
son of a
apocalypse.
bitch.
You can come.
Yeah.
What
I
about
need
me?
somebody to cuddle with.
I got
Okay,
guns.
good.
Yeah, because I
You'll
have guns.
protect us. You'll be my
I'll
cuddle
write
buddy.
your diaries.
Thank you.
I have guns.